How does your body lose weight? This is a question that I had very early on when I started my fitness journey, and I'm going to answer it for you today and walk through a very simple example so you can understand it better, which then will allow you to actually lose the weight that you want better, or also build the muscle that you want. What's up, y'all? Hope your day's going great. Today I wanted to dive in and talk about how does your body actually lose weight? How does it work? And I have a very simple example. I'm gonna walk through, do a little bit of math, and show y'all how you could probably wrap your head around this just a little bit to better understand what makes you gain weight and what makes you lose weight. And this will just give you more control, more confidence around your journey. Now, before we dive in any further, it would mean a lot if you like, comment, subscribe. That would mean the world to me. And if you have questions, as always, I'm happy to help y'all with anything. Now, when it comes to losing weight, there's a rule out there. If you Google it, there's a 3,500 calorie rule. I believe that's what it's titled as. And it's essentially saying that if you burn 500 calories every single day for like a week, then, or actually wrong, if you take in 500 extra calories over the course of a week, that's what will make you gain a pound. And then I've seen the opposite of that is true. And when it comes to either weight gain or weight loss, it's not as black and white as that. There's so many different factors that play into what makes you gain the weight and how many calories is gonna make you gain weight and what makes you actually lose weight. Because you gotta take into consideration, are you male or female? How much muscle do you have on your body? What's your activity level look like? And what does your current food intake actually look like? There's so many different factors. Age is a factor. So there's so many different things that come into play when it has to do with weight loss. So we're gonna dive in, give you all a quick example. So right now, I weigh 205 pounds. So I'm 6'1", and for me, my just basic amount of calories that I can burn on a daily basis is probably going to be around 2,050 calories. So how you can figure out what is the base amount of calories that you burn at rest, no exercise included. You can take your current body weight, times it by 10. So that's what I do right here. And I get, boom, the calories. So if you're listening on Spotify, obviously you can't see this, but I'm just showing the calculation on my calculator on my phone. So that's very roughly what I burn at rest. Now, let's say I'm wanting to lose weight. Let's say I'm wanting to drop 5 pounds. And this is gonna go back to a video that I made on how to calculate your overall calories if you're wanting to lose weight. So what you'll do, you take, if you have less than 60 pounds to lose, you'll take your current body weight times it by 10 to 12 calories. So it's a range. And for me, I'm gonna just take 11 times my current body weight, 205 times 11, which comes out to 2,255 calories. So when it comes to this, now that we have what my calorie deficit number would be, so if I hit 2,255 calories on a daily basis, well then I will lose weight. I would drop down to the 200 pounds that I want. Now, if we're gonna theorize, basically how much of a caloric deficit does this put me in? How does it actually work? How many more calories do I need to burn on a daily basis to just lose 1 pound? What does that take? What do I need to burn? So what we're gonna do here, let's take my resting metabolic rate, the amount of calories that I burn while at rest, which was the 2,050. And we're gonna minus it from this 2,255. And this is just some simple math, some theorizing here. This isn't exactly how the body works. So you're going to do this simple math equation right there, the minus. So then that means just without me even working out, 0 working out. Well, just based on that calorie amount I need to aim to lose weight, the 2,255. Well, and then if I minus it from my resting metabolic rate, it's saying I'm pretty close to already being in a deficit without even exercising. It's saying I'm basically plus 205 calories here, and I haven't factored in exercise whatsoever. So when it comes to this, Let's say if I'm working out 5 days a week, just a simple resistance training program, not doing really anything in addition to that. So let's just say, I'm gonna lowball it a little bit. Let's say I burn 300 calories in each workout, 5 days a week. So for 5 days, I'm gonna do 300 minus this 205. So I'm basically in a minus 95 calorie deficit once I add in exercise. Now, when it comes to exercise, you could burn, it depends on what you're burning. You gotta think if you're resistance training or doing anything like that, you could be burning more than that or maybe a little less than that. It just really depends. But let's just say for 5 days, I'll stay in that negative calorie balance, which again, for you to lose weight, you have to be in a calorie deficit, which means you are burning more calories than you're taking in. If you are gaining weight, that means you're consuming more calories than you're burning. Very simple math. I had a conversation with someone in the comments. He had lost 60 pounds and it was in a video that I made not too long ago. And it's awesome that he lost 60 pounds, but something he was saying is, well, he was in a calorie surplus. That's not true. It's biology and it's physics. I can't physically lose weight and be in a calorie surplus. Your body just does not work that way. And I didn't want this to skip over the fact that he's lost 60 pounds, which is freaking awesome. That's a lot of freaking weight. So he should definitely be proud of it. But coming back to this example, let's say I'm in that negative 95 calorie balance for 5 days. So, and I'm just assuming I'm not going to work out Saturday and Sunday. Then that assumes I'm in a negative 475 calorie balance, at least for 5 days out of the week, because I just took 95 times it by 5. So then based off of that, for me, if I have that calorie range and I'm working out, based on my experience, I'm going to drop about a half pound to a pound that week. That's just doing regular lifting. Now, if I add in my CrossFit training, I could potentially drop a pound and a half, maybe 2 pounds, because it's just higher intensity training and I'm just mowing through more calories. I could potentially be mowing through 400 or 500 calories per workout, maybe more, but I'm really not too sure. So when it comes to that, this is a simple example of, well, how does it actually work? So going back through it, I took my resting metabolic rate, which was 10 times my current body weight, which came out to 2,050 calories. Then I figured out what is that caloric deficit range for me, calculating my calories for me to lose weight, which was just my current body weight, 205 times 11, which came out to 2,255 calories. Then I just minus that 2,255 calories from the 2,050 to come up with, basically without any exercise, I would already be basically almost at a deficit, because I would be at a deficit without adding in any exercise, because something I didn't even factor into all of this is, well, I didn't factor in any walking. I didn't add in, am I fidgeting at my desk or different things like that. All of that is going to burn calories. So I'm already in a deficit without even working out. So when you set your calories up this way and you start to move, you're automatically going to be moving in the right direction. But for this example, let's say I was only at that I had 205 calories there that I was still positive. Let's just assume that I'm not factoring in any other movement. Literally, I just sit on the couch all day, don't move. I'm just stuck there. Well, then I have a plus 205 calories, and based on that calculation, well, I would gain weight in that, which this is not how it works in real life. We're just theorizing here. So from there, if we had an exercise, and I'm just assuming I'd burn roughly 300 calories per workout, minus 300 from the 205, which comes out to 95 calories. So basically I'd be in a negative 95 calorie balance when I add an exercise. Let's assume I work out 5 days a week, boom, automatically I'm gonna be, over the course of the week, I'll be in a negative 475 calorie balance, which will make me lose about a half pound to a pound. So this is kind of how it works inside the body. Does the math shake out perfectly inside of your body like this? No, it doesn't. But you can see when you calculate your calories like that, when you set, and going back to the example I had in a couple videos ago, as far as how do you calculate your calories if you want to be in a deficit, well, you take your current body weight, if you have less than 60 pounds to lose, times it by the 10 to 12 calories range, then that will give you your overall calories, just like I did here. That automatically is gonna put you in a deficit. Now, if you have more than 60 pounds to lose, you have to take your goal body weight, what you wanna weigh, goal body weight, and times it by that 10 to 12 calorie range. That will put you in a deficit without adding in any exercise. Now, where most people go wrong with this is the fact that they don't really manage the calories that they're taking in. Even when I was talking with this guy in the comments, well, he was saying I estimated I was taking in 4,700 to 5,000 calories. And again, the key word there is estimated. You don't know for sure. So this is where at the start, why I'm such a big proponent of tracking macros and weighing out your food, because then you know exactly how many calories you're taking in, and you literally don't leave your success up to chance. You know 100% what it is, and you actually are gonna lose weight. In my opinion, why would you wanna do that? Because if you could be on the shadow of doubt, know for sure something that's going to make you lose weight, that if you do it, and if you're managing things correctly, well then why wouldn't you wanna do it? That's why I always tell people, I'm not worried about gaining weight or losing weight or whatever, because I know as long as I just manage what I'm taking in, I will be fine. Even as I get older, I know as I get older, I'm just gonna naturally slow down with my movement. But I'm not too worried about it because I know how to do this calculation, how to manage my food, and I'll be okay. So this is where, when you really understand stuff like this, it's such an empowering thing because you know what makes you actually lose weight. So I hope this example really helped y'all out. If y'all have questions on anything, please drop them in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to help y'all out, walk through things. But the big thing with this is you just have to make sure you are calculating your calories. You're figuring out those macros, which I'm happy to do for you if you would like me to. Figure out those macros, then start managing your food. Because then if you do that, well then you will automatically set yourself up for success. But other than that, I hope this was helpful. If y'all need anything else from me, please let me know. Other than that, have a fantastic day.